Rodney Roberts' motorcycle career started when he got his first bike at the ripe old age of 13. It was a 1959 Simplex, and his love of the freedom of two wheels has not waned in the past 50 years. Rodney worked in a Honda shop starting at the age of 15, then was invited to join the U.S. Army, where he was trained as a machinist and spent 18 months in Korea. When he returned in 1970, he attended the college on the GI Bill, but began working on motorcycles in his spare time to supplement his income. He quickly realized higher education was not his calling in the normal way, so he opened Rodney's Cycle House in 1970. He was 22. Realizing the motorcycle industry was always at risk from those with the belief that the sport of motorcycling is dangerous, Rodney began to become politically active. In 1984, Rodney was instrumental in starting ABATE of Arkansas. He served as president of District 1 for some years, and his conviction that the rights of the motorcycle community and the public were in jeopardy grew. In 1987, Rodney became active in the state legislature and for 10 years used his diplomatic abilities to effectively promote legislation and ensure the best chance for ultimate passage. Rodney's leadership and support for motorcyclists' rights, including the Motorcycle Rights Foundation and the federal efforts, was based in Arkansas. Rodney did venture out of the state to attend MRF conferences and served on the MRF's board for a couple of years, but once the national organization was formed and a lobbyist placed in Washington, Rodney stayed close to home. Through his leadership from Arkansas, Rodney supported MRF and active lobbying at the federal level. He also supported a group of activists from Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, and Oklahoma who traveled to D.C. The MACO group, later joined by Texas, has been instrumental in moving forward motorcycle activism by creation of the regional Mid-South Mile Motorcyclists' Rights Conference. Over the years, Rodney worked tirelessly and kept his eye on the one thing most important to ABATE of Arkansas, repeal of the state's mandatory helmet law that had been in place since 1966. All the time the MRF, AMA, and other states were working to repeal federal penalties placed on states without helmet laws, Rodney continued to build relationships in Little Rock. When the federal helmet law was finally repealed in 1995, Rodney had already laid the groundwork, and in 1997 he led Arkansas in its bid to be the first state to repeal its helmet law. Before that, the trend had been toward enacting helmet laws. Arkansas turned the corner on those trends and did so without special conditions of insurance and rider education requirements. While many people had a hand in working on the helmet law repeal, Rodney Roberts was and is a political visionary and a leader in Arkansas. He knew he couldn't do everything, so he focused on getting the right people in place to support the federal agenda and kept his own focus on the Arkansas legislature. The helmet law repeal was certainly not the end of freedom fighting for Rodney. He continues to be called upon to battle for our freedom of choice and our rights as American citizens and motorcyclists. People who know Rodney will tell you he is always a true patriot.